Can we talk first about Mojtaba Khamenei, because he's not been seen. We've seen photographs of him. We've seen archive footage of him. We've not seen him address people in public. Why?
He has been a mystery to many Iranians for decades. From 2009 protests, when I was there, people were chanting that we hope you'll die and you will never see the leadership. So his name was there, but there were not many footages of him. There's only one video of him saying that he's canceling one of his religious classes. But the fact that they've chosen him as the next leader, many of Iranian opponents of the regime say that this is nepotism. Iranian regime is no stranger to nepotism, but this is happening at the highest level. Plus, this was an Islamic republic, but this has changed. They're saying that the Islamic Republic has changed into a kind of dynastic system, has changed into a hereditary succession, because his father was at least used to be, held some major public offices. He used to be he was involved in the revolution, and he was president before becoming a leader, and then he was chosen a leader. The founder of the revolution, Khamenei, was leading the revolution, but he has not held any major public office. Plus, he does not even have religious credentials, very strong religious credentials.
But he was close to his father, and these reports overnight that he may have been injured. We've heard we've had a statement from the son of the president, President Pezeshkian, who says he's safe and well despite the reports that he's been injured. He didn't deny that he'd been injured, so there is this speculation that perhaps in the initial wave of bombing in which his father was killed, he might also have been wounded in some way.
That's correct, because Iranian state TV also called him as one of the injured people during the war. So, which is not strange, because his father was killed, his mother was killed, his wife was killed, and one of his niece or nephew was killed as well. So apparently the fact that he's injured is not a strange thing. But the point is that yesterday he was supposed to publish a statement, so people were waiting to see him talk, or at least a video statement, but neither of them appeared. So no audio statement, no video statement was released. But his father, when he was assassinated back in the 80s, he immediately published an interview on a hospital bed with his hand in the bandage. But that raises the question about his condition, his health condition right now. Is he injured at a level that he cannot appear on TV, that he cannot even release an audio statement or even a written statement? Nothing has been published so far.
The pictures that I'm seeing here of huge crowds in Tehran, which of course the regime is keen for us to see, they're gathering for the state funeral of a military commander this morning, is there to demonstrate that they're still in control. But there are also some very public warnings to people from broadcasters on state media.
Exactly. So that is the big change that we've seen in the few days. Iranian police chief has come on TV and saying that our soldiers' fingers are on the trigger. If you come out on the street, we're going to treat you as enemies. And apart from that, for news presenters on TV, I was just watching one of them that's saying that after the dust settles, we're going to make your mothers grieve over your dead bodies. These are some serious threats on, a national TV. And people we are talking to, they're saying that that's the fear of Mojtaba becoming, because he was close to the Revolutionary Guards. So they feel that they're scared that Iran is going to turn into a kind of police state. And we see the signs on the streets right now, because they say that checkpoints are everywhere.
The Israelis say in their bombing raids in recent days, they've been dismantling the Basij headquarters, the police headquarters around the country. Do you see evidence of that in the bombing pattern that we've seen?
Yes, we've seen pictures, for example, that there are some police officers on the street. So there's a bombed out building next to them. So they put a desk on the street and they're sitting there. But we don't have, because Iran is trying to restrict the images that are going out. Today, they just published a report saying that they've arrested several individuals who were sending footages and photos and videos to outside sources.
Right, so that's not breeding confidence, enough confidence for people to come on the streets. They don't, obviously the Basij are on motorbikes, they're mobile, so there's still plenty of regime characters out on the streets that are subduing any protest.
And they're trying to intimidate people. So they, they go on the streets on motorcycles, they yell, they, chant slogans. They're trying to intimidate people to say that, listen, we are still in charge. We are getting bombed, but we are the people who are in charge, and you cannot come on the streets and protest. And plus, let's not forget that this is happening just a month or two after the protest, that thousands and thousands of Iranians were killed. Let's say that Israelis and Americans can stop Iranian regime to shoot missiles, but they still have guns.
And they can shoot missiles, because we reported in the headlines 3 cargo vessels struck this morning. We said before, the only thing the Iranian regime has to do here is not lose. They don't need to win. They just need to cause enough chaos in the region, and particularly enough chaos on the global markets. And they're doing that quite successfully today.
Because they've practiced that for a long time, because they have practiced, they've honed their teeth, they cut their teeth in asymmetrical warfare, because they always knew that they were under sanctions for decades. So they did not have missiles. They, made their own indigenous missile program with the help of the Chinese and the North Koreans. But anyway, they managed to make it in a way that they're targeting Israelis right now. They know that they cannot defeat Americans and Israelis because of their military might. However, when it comes to asymmetrical warfare and sabotage operations and things like that, they have been quite successful, like what they are doing in the Strait of Hormuz and what Houthis did in the Red Sea. So they can disrupt the global market, and they hope that that is going to put enough pressure on the Americans and the allies to stop this war.
Yeah, it begs serious questions, doesn't it, about the endgame strategy, which we'll discuss further in the programme. Parham, thank you very much indeed for that. That's a good starter for 10. Let's bring in